Hello, my beautiful creatives, and welcome back to my art channel. My name is Chrissie B, and I am a creativity coach hoping to inspire you to live a more creative life every day. Well, today I thought that it would be fun to get into some of my watercolors that I haven't used terribly much. I've used these a couple times, but I don't use them very much. And I thought it would be fun to see if I can do a colorful, messy kind of background. The other thing that I pulled out was I have just recently acquired some new watercolor brushes that I have not even used yet. So here are those. They had a really good sale at my favorite art store. But I thought between my watercolors and my paintbrushes, it would at least give me something to play with. So I'm going to use my good Strathmore Mixed Media book, which is a little bit more precious than my regular Soul book, just because, not precious, the paper is much nicer quality than my Soul book. And here is today's page. Now, of course, I have no plan, so let me clip this down so it doesn't pop up on me. And this will be where my art journal play is going to be, and this will be my supply list. The first thing I want to do is I want to grab a water bottle out, and I just want to spritz my page to get it a little bit wet because I really enjoy the wet on wet technique. Now, because this is a really fine mist bottle, I kind of spray a lot. So let's just set you over there for now, and I'll keep you probably here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. See what colors I'm choosing. And you know me, I like big, rich, deep, yummy colors. I'm gonna set this over here so I can kind of see my colors. But the one that I really wanted to start with, I'm gonna start with this color here. And it says, I don't know what kind of brush this is. It's a Royal and Langnickel, but I don't know what it's called. It's kind of cool. It's kind of an interesting shape. Just kind of want to mush some color down. Kind of pretty. Pretty colors. I don't want to muss it too much though. I kind of want to just like let it do its thing a little bit. And then I want to take a deeper purple, which is this one here. And just kind of lay that down. Just because I've never been a purple girl until this year. For some reason, purple and I are getting along. Look at that little drip that's sitting right there. Okay, apparently have a dry spot up there, which is fine. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe this brush, but it's so cool. I love it. And just because I'm not happy with only two colors, I want a third. So I want to pick kind of a blue, not kind of a blue, I want to pick a blue. This one will be darker. And we'll just kind of like let it kind of, I like the stripes. Holy moly, I like the stripes a lot. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. And it's 8. That's okay. Okay, so before I muss it any longer, I want to just kind of let that happen. Let me pick up some of that in the spine here. I'll drag that down a little bit so it kind of dries evenly. You might not be able to see that on camera, but I can. So I'm going to let that completely dry, and I will be back and we'll add some more color. Okay, I'm gonna set my journal aside while it's drying, as I have an idea of something I might like to do. I may not want to use this, but I think I want to. Let's move my color palette out of the way. Okay. I've taken a piece of watercolor paper and I want to stamp some stamps on them because I'm loving stars this year. Stars, again, are something I don't really use too often, but for some reason I like them this year. So I want to take another brush, another watercolor brush, and this is to really just wet my page. And I just want to create something that I think would look cool to stamp my stars on and make a 3D element on my art journal page. I'm going to be a little overzealous in my watering because I don't care about that. I want it to be nice and juicy. And I'm going to grab another, let's see, I've never used a mop before. I don't know what you use it for, but we're going to try it. It looks like it holds a lot of color, water. So now my background is purpley pink. I want to do, oops, is that a sign? No. I'm going to use the color I want to use. I'm just going to kind of put the water down, the watercolor down. I'm trying to make a mess a little bit. It's a lot of water, lots. I see why they call it a mop brush. Just mops your color right on. Let's go to the edges. Even if I don't use the whole thing today, it'll still make it awesome for another day. Let's rinse that brush out. Don't let it just hang out over there. Let's grab a smaller brush. And I just want to pick up more of that color. I want to make it much more saturated than that. I have no real rhyme or reason. I just kind of do an up and down, sidey side motion. Kind of let it loop a couple times sometimes. Let's flip it over because I don't know why I wore a long sleeve shirt today, but I did, and I don't want to get my sleeves in this. Let's see if I can grab a pokey tool. Let's see. I will use this little pokey tool to kind of hold that down. My idea, I think, is that I want to make this purple, and I also want to add blue to it. I want to add a deep blue. I love this one. Okay. Oh. Just kind of let that flow out. And mix, and flow, and flow, and mix, and mix, and flow. And just kind of let it do what it wants to do, while helping it a little bit. Okay. A little more. Don't know why I just washed my brush off more. That didn't make any sense. Just want to have like lots of cool variations in this paper. It's kind of cool. If I had any salt up here, I would use salt, but I don't have any. Actually, I don't have any salt in the house, I don't think. I know that's weird, but we just moved. Again, I'll tell you in this week's cup of chat. Things are changing again because life is exactly what happens when you're making other plans. Okay, I think that's good. I think it's a pretty good mix. I want to let this completely dry, and then what I want to do is I want to take some silver and do some silver speckles. Now there's a silver paint here, which I've actually never ever used before, so I'm not sure if that's what I want to use, or if I want to use my, what is this one? My Fine Tech, which I've never used this before either, so I see a lot of people use this online. Never used it before, had it over a year, but there's really pretty silver there. So I'm thinking about adding drops of speckles silver to my background to stamp my stars on. Do I have any plan further than that? Nope, I don't. But I'll keep looking through my stash and see if something pops into my, oh, I've got to do that. You know what I'm talking about. So I'll be back. Okay, so this is now dry and this is now dry, but now all together, they're too matchy-matchy. So that bugs me because you know me, I like my opposites. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. Do I push some back with some gesso? Do I add some acrylic? I do not know. I think what I don't like is that this is really, really mousy, and this is, for me, mousy, but it's pretty vivid for watercolor. And because I'm just going to go with it, I'm going to grab some magenta paint. And without having a plan and not really knowing what I'm going to do, do I want to scrape or do I want to brush? I kind of want to scrape, so scraping it is. Make sure I don't get my Let me clean my palette knife off real quick, because I don't like it. Don't like it. I don't like it. So, instead of being so wishy-washy about it, I'm going to add some tangerine. Just see if I can take this in a totally different direction. Really scrub that in well. Grab some more magenta. Because do I know what I'm doing? No. When all else fails, pick up the paint and just do something. Make a motion. Make movement. It's kind of mixing with my orange a little bit. It's okay. Don't mind that too much. I'm gonna drop that into my water and move that other piece of paper out of the way. I'm going to grab some gesso and another palette knife. And I'm just going to see about adding some texture. Just kind of scooping that. Maybe texture is not the right word. Just kind of push my background back a little bit. And again, don't wear long sleeves on art journal day, Chrissy. You know better than that. I am a messy artist when it comes to sleeves because I don't remember that I even have them. Just kind of push all that back. Push some of you back, not all of you. I want to do thin scraping. And then kind of be purposeful about my, you know, which motions I'm taking it. I'm always going to go up and down, side to side. That's just the way I like it. I think I've said that in the past. So I'm going to get some on that little edge right there. It's wet, so it's kind of like mixing a little bit. I personally like that. Gives me all different color variations. And then not really wanting to cover everything, just kind of pushing it back. Kind of laying some down, picking some up. Scraping it again, just making sure it's really, really, really thin because I want it to dry really, really fast because I have no patience. Okay, let's drop that into my water, close my gesso. Let's do a little comparison. See how it's like pink and orange now and blue and purple? I feel like that's more of an opposite than something I can live with. A little bit better than what I had. So, while you are still wet, I'm actually going to dry you because I forget I can use my dryer now. Okay, before I go too crazy, I'm going to set my art journal aside again. And let's work on my little stars. Now, I'm going to try both this paint and this paint. And I'm just going to kind of do a comparison and see which one I like better. And I'll put them both on here. It's curled pretty badly. And because it did, and I don't want to, I'm just gonna let it go. It's fine, it's fine. Now, I don't do this very often. I don't do this ever, really. I'm gonna grab some of my silver. Gonna get some on my brush. And I guess it might be helpful to have something to like whack it against. So I'll grab another brush over here. See if I can do this without making too big of a mess. It's kind of splattering in a straight line. It's probably because of the brush I chose. Okay, so that's one silver. Let's move this out of the way. We'll actually just close it back up again. I always kind of keep all my packaging together so I don't lose it. Set to the side. And use this one. And open it. And we're going to put this so you can see it. Can you see my little silver speckles on that? No, they're a little hard to see. Okay, nice and subtle. Actually, it's nice and sparkly, which I've never really been a sparkly girl, but I kind of am this year. Can you see that? Is it going clear at all? Focus, focus. There you go. You can see that. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then we're going to get some stamping. Because remember, I want to take these stars and stamp them into this, onto this paper, and then cut some out to use as some embellishments for my art journal page. So I'm going to dry this and I'll be right back. My stamp pad out, I'm going to grab my stamps, and then I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to grab a stamp block because I do want these to stamp rather cleanly. And I've never used these before. These poor things have been sitting there forever, and I'm going to use black because I like it. Makes me happy. See if I can get a really nice smudgy, I guess is okay. I think I'm gonna have to re-ink this ink pad. It sort of works okay, sort of doesn't work okay. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just gonna pick a spot and plunk it down. And I'm gonna hold it for just a minute just to help some of the ink soak into the paper. That is my story. I don't know if that's true. I'm not a very good stamper. I don't stamp normally like a proper stamper does. And my quality of stamps shows it. Although that looks pretty stinking good and I like it. So I'm just gonna wipe this off with a wet paper towel. And that's as clean as my stamps ever get. So let's put that one away and let's grab another one. And I want 3 of them. Small, medium, large would be awesome. But I like you, so we're gonna go with you. Boy, when they put these down on your packaging, they mean business. Business. Okay, so let's stamp this or ink this one up. And this one, I don't want to waste too much of this paper, so I'm going to try to get them kind of close together and just stamp it down. And again, just holding it in place, letting the ink kind of absorb into the paper a little bit, trying to get a nice smooth stamp would be awesome. And then left. And that one did all right. It's a little bit, there's not much stamp there, so not too worried about that. And then one more, either the speckly one or the less speckly one. Let's do the less speckly one, because we can always add speckles ourselves. So put that on there. My little stamp block. Probably should test it before I ink to see if it'll fit. Let's see, I want it to go here. This is kind of where I'm hoping it will go. Then all the rest of this paper can be used in another project, or to make bookmarks or envelopes or something fun. So, ta-da! 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 Okay, now let's take a moment and we're going to cut these little things out because we can. And instead of making you watch me do this, I'm going to, look how pretty that is. Did you see that? Oh, so shiny. Anyways, instead of making you watch me cut these out, I'll be back in just a moment. They're still loose. I don't really know what to do with them. They're cool. I do like the speckles on them a lot. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm thinking about pulling out some book paper. I want to add book paper, and I want to actually journal on this. And for life of me, I can't remember where my book paper is at. So I will grab some from a book. How amazing is that? A nemograph, a recording anemometer, which I would have to look that up too because I have no idea what that even is. I'm also going to grab out my matte medium to use as an adhesive and one of my brushes. My gel medium brushes. And I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to tear my edges off first. Sometimes I find that when I get stuck and I'm not sure what I'm going to do, just the motion of like making my hands do this work of tearing, it makes it easier to then do the next step because your muscles are already doing it. Your muscles are already making the motion. Okay, so I'm going to tear some square-ish shapes. I don't know if I'll use them all, but I do know I want to have at least an odd number of them. So I'm going to use 5, and this little guy will go into my paper stash. Okay, and I'm just going to try this out because I think I know what I want. I just don't know how to articulate what it is I want. And actually, come back little paper. Let's do the fonts all different directions. The text all different directions. I want you to be like, yeah, you're okay. Stop futzing. I'm a futzer. I can't help it. It's what I do. And then if I did something like 1, 2, 3, maybe? No, let's just kind of just glue it down without planning too much because, you know, you never know what's going to happen until you start just doing it. So let's take my paper and just glue you down. Whoa, I went way too deep in my glue. Put glue on my brush, which I don't like that, but I'll fix it by just moosh. Okay. Put you in that direction. Kind of glue you down. Just kind of smooth the glue out a little bit. I'll put you in that direction. Glue you down. Try not to get too many wrinkles. I'm not trying to get too many wrinkles, but I'm not going to be upset if there are any. And I'm going to put you down. I'm going to put you like this. I'm looking at that line at the bottom. Do I like it? Do I not like it? I'm just gonna go with it. Then we're gonna do you this way. We'll put you upside down, like so. I don't want my edges to line up. I want them to be a little bit off, although I see that this is almost lined up. Because I have a tendency to look at one side, but not the other. Shame, shame. Let's get some more glue. And we'll put you down there. Which I realize this is already a different shape than what I had built the first time. This is why I don't plan too much. I just kind of got to get a gist of what I want. Let's see. Let that come out a bit. Okay. Plunk you into the water and let this dry. Okay, so now that that's dry, let's kind of audition these again. Figure out where I want them. I don't want the pokes, these little pokes going all the same direction. I want them all going in different directions. And I do that by just kind of keeping an eye on where the top one's going. Make one straight, one off to the right, one off to the left. That's cool. The only thing I'm thinking is I feel like I've taken a lot of the pink away by covering it with paper. I'm going to come back in with some fluorescent pink, some goldens. And it's bright, but it's really fluidy. Fluidy, really liquidy. So I'm just gonna kind of give it a light zhuzhing. Okay. Pretty subtle. I think that's because that sample's pretty old and it's separated a little bit. Give it a little bit more of a mix. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I can do to save that, but ooh, there we go. Bright. Because I like my bright colors. My bright colors make me super, super happy. Like so. I think it looks good to me. Now, let's audition these again. And it's okay if they get into the pink paint. I don't care. I, for some reason, think this one's the bottom because it's visually the heaviest because of the dark lines on it. Like that, maybe. Okay, so let me dry this off and then I'm going to do some journaling. So I have pulled out a Fude ball, 1.5. I never ever use this because I think that the ink is really, really large. Like the writing part is very large. That's okay for this. I think because I'm going to keep my journaling very short, simple, short, and sweet, and very scribbly, I want to kind of do, I don't know if I want to go across the edges here or where, but I'm just going to write. So I'm going to get quiet for just a minute and I'm going to just write. Okay, not my favorite in my journaling, but I think that the texture behind the stars will be cool. Let's try it on again. It's just like trying on clothes. You just do it until you love it. Okay. I'm gonna grab a different pen. I think I know what my problem is. I'm gonna grab another pen and I'm going to journal smaller, thinner, and I don't know. I think I'm antsy today. I think is what's going on. So I'm gonna journal some of that out. Okay, I like that a lot better. Even though I could scribble more because I could. I could write all day. I just write naturally. So as I was doing that, one of the things I kept hearing was, I want to push some of that back with gesso. So I'm going to take my gesso back out again and a palette knife. And I'm just going to literally just push it back with some gesso. And I'm working through some stuff in my life at the moment. It's kind of kind of blur a little. That's okay. Try not to mess it too much. It's a problem with these pens. Could be a mistake. Could not be. I don't know. Oops, that was loud. Sorry about that. I'm going to take some deli paper. And because I want to change that texture a little bit, I'm going to take one of my mark makers, which is just a stick. I don't know. It looks sort of like a chopstick, but I know it's not one. And then just do some see if I can get some texture into that, because it's a mess. I think I've made a huge mistake. That's okay. Mistakes happen. Mistakes are not mistakes. It's just an experiment, and it's an opportunity for learning something new. I had a boss who used to call opportunities for improvement OFIs. There! It still looks like print, but it's kind of pushed back even further. And as crazy as that may seem, I actually like that a lot. And I kind of like that paper too, but probably not going to save it. Before I finish with that paper though, I'm going to fold it because there's a lot of texture going on from the scratching of the stick. And I just want to kind of smooth it out real quick because I want that to be flat again. So now I'm going to dry this and we'll move on. I'm going to come back with two things, with a purple acrylic and a pink acrylic again. Because I'm not really digging this, which is fine. I mean, that's totally fine. That's how art journaling works. You just kind of make a layer, and if you hate a layer, you cover up a layer. So let's just take just this section, and I will go over a little bit. So I know the words are still back there. You can even see some of my whatnot's peeking through my paper. You know what's funny is this page is going to end up as dark as I normally do, even though it was so pastel because of the wash of... Yeah, let's just kind of go. Now I'm playing. Now I'm kind of feeling like, okay, the message I just heard made me feel so much better that I want to play. So yes, there's a lot of that niceness that's going away. Some of that color. I'm gonna let it happen. Just let it happen. I'm gonna choose, I have rosy, but I don't really like that color. I do have blushing as well, and I don't think I've used that terribly often. So let's try that. Although that to me looks so different. Again, trying to make sure my sleeve doesn't get into this. Put that away. Give it a little bit of a spin. Just scratch some marks into it. Then I'm going to go back with my gesso. Well, I'm going to dry it first, and then I'm going to go back in my gesso again and kind of whitewash the whole thing, and then see where we're at. One more time with my palette knife and some gesso. I don't know how many times, how many layers it's going to end up on this page, but it's okay. We're just going to go with it. What art journaling is kind of a process. And then just kind of push it all back. Now, let's see if we can smooth some of these lines out. Whoops, and get the stars off of there. Okay. Now for any excess, I'm just going to scrape off because I have done a lot on this page today. I didn't realize what a funk I was in until I started. No, not until I started, but until I was journaling. I was like, oh my gosh. I heard my brain just rambling, and I'm thinking, no, no, no. That's not what being in faith means. Being in faith means trusting. Trusting that you're being taken care of, even when you have no freaking clue what the outcome's going to be. You just know that you're taken care of. Just kind of keep scraping until it's what you like. And there's going to be lines because I do have paper on here, but I kind of have an idea what I want. This is a good example of you can fix anything. Okay, let me grab something to cover this because that is wet gesso and I don't want to lay any of my tools into it or my book. Let's just cover that. That's now a permanent adhesive to my permanent fixture to my desk, and I'm going to dry this off. And then we will audition again the stars. I think we'll have to tweak a little bit more, but that's okay. I think we're doing well. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing because I got a much smaller palette knife, and I'm just scraping. Let's see if I can do it in space where you can actually see me. I'm scraping until I get some of that bottom layer to show. I've never done that before, but I really, really like it. It's kind of loud, kind of messy. I probably could use a sandpaper to do this. And I think this is possible because some of that under paper is still a little bit damp, just because we put so many layers on it. So it's subtle, but it happened, and I think it looks great. So I wanted to show you before I got too far in my drying process. Now, the only thing I could say about it, though, is it is making a bit of a mess. I love that. I love how that one tore, too. You see this piece right here? How yummy is that? And I can see some of the stripes that happen with that gesso and the chopstick coming through. Love that. Hello. So when you have a page that's not going the way that you want it because you've done something to it, like, I don't know, I can't tell you what part I went awry on. Use those all as learning opportunities. What can I learn from this? Is there any part of this that I would like to recreate again in the future? Okay, it's pretty dry. I'm gonna go ahead and try these again. And now that I've taken the bright pink out, do I need to put it back? And I kind of need to cover that now because although I like it, it doesn't seem to go any longer. Okay, let me zoom you back out again. Now what I've done is I have grabbed some white fluid acrylics, golden. It's titanium white. And I just want to put some around, so it won't be completely white, but it will be light. So what's my rationale for that? I don't know. Don't really think I've got a rationale for any of this right now. This is just all playing. I had Bob Ross in my head just a minute ago. Happy clouds, happy clouds. These are not happy clouds, but I had this idea of taking a spray bottle, which I have not used in forever, because when I was in the trailer I didn't have access to my sprays because I had them all in storage. Well, I really need to tell you what's happening. I pulled a little bit out of storage to take with me while we live back in the condo for a little while. Just kind of smoosh it on, let some of it overlap. Okay. Now my idea for my spraying, because I don't want to just spray a big mess, although after the day I've been having today, honey, a big mess is what I'm making. I want to take a piece of scrap plastic. Now I always keep a couple sheets of my yeah, packaging. It's just any packaging. This, I think, had stamps in it, or maybe it had some paper or something in it. I don't remember. But I want to take that and use that as a tool. So I'm going to choose a color out of the spray bag. And my stars are purple and... Okay. I'm going to choose a Deco Art Media Mister in orange. I haven't used this in forever. I hope it works. I'm going to see if I can let you see what I'm doing. Okay. Let's get all of this stuff out of the way. Okay, I'm going to just take this. I'm going to spray my piece of plastic. Which is good because this is not a very good spray. They're kind of old. They've been in storage for a while. And I'm just going to take it and flip it over and plunk it down. Okay? I'm going to move it and plunk it down. Flip it over. See this pattern I've got going? I want to change it, so let's fold it on itself. Because I want that pattern to be different. And we're going to plunk that down. Flip it over. Plunk that down. Plunk it off the page. Up here a little bit. Oops. Try not to, I'm not trying to scrape it on, I'm trying to just kind of blot it on. So like it, all these random little splotchy texture pieces. So there we go. Yay. Oh, can I just tell you, that makes me so much happier. Let me do, ooh, another little look. Let's see if I can, now I'm terrified. Blot it over here first, because that's a lot of paint. Oh, that's kind of cool. Just kind of tap it down, and tap it down, tap it down. Kind of got it in a random kind of patterny kind of thing. Cover that. Once that dries, you can use it again and again and again. Totally fine. There. Now I'm going to dry this, and I think I'm ready for stars, because now I've got really good pink and orange back on here again, which is different than the blue and the purple. So, yeah. Okay, I think this is all feeling a little bit more salvaged. Like I thought, oh my gosh, this is going horribly awry. What have I done? It's horrible. But this is real. This is what art journaling is like. This is a real life art journaling. So let me pause the video. I'm gonna dry this and I'll be right back. Okay, that feels so much better. But I want you like this-ish. I don't know, for crying out loud, there's so many things you could do with this. Let's just kind of move this mess. Ooh, I'll do myself a new under paper. Bum 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 bum. I am trying to think what to do next. Da 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 da. Play, play, play. Everything doesn't go beautifully when you play, 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 but it's play, so it's fun. Ooh. Okay, before I change my mind at all, I'm going to glue these down. Grab some Alien's Fast Grab Tacky Glue. Just kind of generously, because this paper is very thick. And it is going to want to mush up. Okay, at this point, I'm going to take a quick, I'm going to cover this with some deli paper. I'm going to close my book to see if I can get those stars to lay flat for a few minutes. And then I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be right back. But I'm going to flip that over so the heaviest part of my, the body of, the bulk of my book is sitting on top of those stars. I want them to get flat, because I want flat stars. And I'm going to have something else to put on it. That's my travel notebook. A travel journal can sit right there, and I will be back. Oh, they flattened out very nicely. They look so much better. That was actually like 5 minutes. So that makes me super, super, super jazzed. Now, what do I do next? well, we don't overthink this. We're gonna grab a few doodling pens. Alrighty. So we're gonna start with the black because we can and because I wanna. Just tracing the outline of my stars kind of lightly. I'll activate that with some water. I have a feeling this page is actually turning out okay. If you hadn't watched the video, I think you'd be surprised at how badly and how many times I had to keep going over this over and over and over. At least I hope it's going all right. Looks good to me now. I'm gonna give that a little bit of a zhuzh. The star's still little. This little one's still wanting to poke up a little bit. So let's grab a small watercolor brush, dip it in some water, and just do a little bit of, you know, activate my stabilo. If anything looks too dark, you just kind of pick up the color and kind of walk it away with a wet brush. Works rather well. My water bucket is full of brushes at the moment. I'm going to have to stop and take time to get that cleaned up before I get to play again. Okay, and just because I can, I'm going to just do some scribbles with the pink. Am I doing all sides? I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to pick. Just kind of seems a little random. I don't know, I kind of like it. Let's do... Let's grab the white. What do I want to do with the white? Can't believe what a righteous mess I made at my desk. That's all good. Let's just do some random doodling here. Kitty, see what I'm doing? Make sure my pen actually writes. I like to do all my doodles in odd numbers. And I will count to get that. Okay. Now that my pink ink is dry. There's a part of me that just wants to do like this kind of motion. I don't know, it makes me feel like pinwheels. Makes me happy, that's for sure. Because I want some writing on here, but I don't think I want an actual sentiment any longer. I'm over this page, I think. How's that for simple? This little light of mine. This little light of mine. Well, that is a wrap. Whew, that was a painful page today. But, yeah, I'm glad I did it. I really like the combination of the acrylics and the splotchy spray. Girls, let me finish. Hey, Bitsy Gracie. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you every single day. This has just been one of those days. And apparently, it's not quite over yet. Girls, leave that alone. The puppies are awake. It is time for Mama to pay attention to them. And apparently, we need to go potty. So, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you every single day. And I hope that you guys have an amazing day. Until next time, bye for now.